eliminating that process, we were able to save about $150,000 a year.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
That is John Good, Business Unit Director from Neotech Manufacturing, talking about some of the fantastic savings that they've seen from their lean transformation. We'll hear more from John right after the intro.
Welcome to the American Lean Podcast, where we cover 5 topics in 5 days in about 5 minutes. The only place in the world where you can get daily lean coaching. Your host is Tom Reed, and he shares his 30 years of experience and covers leadership, culture, entrepreneurship, lean methodologies, Industry 4.0, and interviews special guests on their lean journey. We're glad you're here, so let's go.
It's Friday, so that means we're going to do an interview with an organization that's on their lean journey. Today I'm in Longmont, Colorado, a company called Neotech, and they are a printed circuit board manufacturer with about 150 people at their locations. And I'm fortunate enough to be sitting with John Good, the Business Unit Director for Neotech. So welcome in, John.
Thanks, Tom.
Tell us a little about yourself. Tell us a little about Neotech and what's going on here in Longmont, Colorado.
All right. Well, I'm the business unit director here at Neotech. I've been with the company for 18 years. I'm responsible for the manufacturing group and operations planning. What we do here at Neotech is we build printed circuit board assemblies. We are a contract manufacturer, which means we don't actually do any design work here. We build other people's products for them.
Who are some of the customers that you guys might build some boards for?
Probably the biggest one here would be a Northrop Grumman.
Which obviously is a very large aerospace and defense customer. Is that most of what you guys do? Do you focus on aerospace and defense here?
Yeah, we're an aerospace and defense center of excellence for Neotech, and we do a little bit of industrial work and medical.
Awesome. We're here talking because you guys have begun a lean journey. How long have you been on your lean journey?
Well, we've been doing it consistently now for about 2.5 years. We did try this back in 2008, and it didn't quite stick. But I'm happy to say that the last 2.5 years we've been doing it very consistent and almost on a monthly basis.
Awesome. So you said that it didn't stick in 2008. Why do you think that was?
Well, I think there were several reasons. I think management wasn't buying into the whole idea. Back then, we were a very, very small company, much smaller than we are today, probably less than 50 people, and we just didn't have the time. The events that we have nowadays, let's say we have about 6 to 8 people that can contribute at least 2 days into a Kaizen. Taking that much time and people away from a small company back then, It just didn't play. Okay. And so I think that was our biggest challenge.
Okay. Now that we're 8 years later or so and we've begun to reengage the lean journey, why did you guys decide to reengage the lean journey? What did you hope to gain?
Well, for me, ease of business, and that comes in many forms. What we hoped to gain was, really making this place easier to run, leaning out our processes, and just eliminating waste.
Okay. What have been some of the biggest struggles you guys have seen on your journey?
I think I mentioned it a little bit before, but, getting people's time to sit down and make improvements. I think when we do it, there's a lot of people that just don't buy into the whole lean idea, and so that they come in with this pre-notion that this isn't going to work, and that can be very difficult. Once we do take actions, getting people to change, I think is very difficult. I spend a lot of time just making sure that we complete our actions that come out of the Kaizens and just making sure that the changes stick.
Mm-hmm. So those are obviously some of your biggest struggles. What are some of the things you've learned from those struggles? How do we mitigate those?
So definitely need to have commitment from management. And then, keeping the events as short as possible makes it easier for people to dedicate the time to get these actions done. Definitely some of the lessons we've learned.
Yeah, so some a little bit different, so that everybody knows, is we are doing 2-day events here at Neotech, which is, not the typical 3 to 4 to 5 day long events. And because they're so focused, they're very action-packed and they're a very intense period of 2 days. But because of that, we've been able to stay on pretty much a monthly rhythm, which has been, I think, very advantageous for your organization. Would you agree?
I definitely agree.
So what do you think have been some of the successes that you guys have gained on your lean journey?
Well, I'll talk about the first one we did. We had this process in our warehouse where we overissued material to our surface mount lines. And when we got done building product, we would count that material back and then have to make the adjustments into our inventory. And it was very cumbersome. We're very highly mixed here. So in a lot of cases, we actually need the material back into the warehouse really quick so that we can rekit and reuse that material. That process, when you're dealing with tens of thousands of parts a week, it got very convoluted. You'd lose parts, and it was an absolute mess. that first Kaizen that we did, we basically eliminated the count back process. And so now we issue just what the floor needs plus attrition. Nothing goes back into the warehouse. We actually, we're able to eliminate but because of that, eliminating that process, we were able to save about $150,000 a year.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Yep.
What do you think have been some of the biggest surprises you've seen as you've continued on your lean journey?
Well, when you get into these events, you want to, include as many people from the factory as possible. And I think some of the things I've learned is I've learned that we've got some pretty talented people that maybe I wouldn't have, been involved with. And that's helped us even promote people in different positions. Also, involving the people throughout the factory just gets everybody involved in continuous improvement. And they embrace that change. They actually take that back out to the floor. They talk about, the fact that we are trying to make the place better. And then it kind of spreads like wildfire. And
awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And, for a lot of people, many people think that lean is just a set of tools, right? But the reality is it's all about how do we get people engaged? How do we change that culture? And those are fantastic things that you're talking about and some specific examples. So it's great. If my company were starting or, another company out there wants to start their lean journey today, what advice would you give them?
Well, for me, what really got us going here was management involvement. My boss, Jeff Grant, when he came to the site, it was right around the same time when we came under new leadership with our new company, Neotech. And both Jeff and our corporate leadership embraced lean, and they were able to help get us involved with a consultant, actually make a financial investment in doing the journey. And then the second piece is getting that consultant, someone that you can trust in the building to work through the process and make sure that it sticks, make sure that it happens every month. And then once you get started and you start seeing these small improvements, it just kind of, they just build on themselves. And then after 3 and 4 and 5 months, you really start to see that the place is changing and it's changing for the better. So definitely got to get management buy-in and getting a good consultant to help you with the process. I think that's what I would do to start a lean journey.
Great. Thank you very much. Hope that helps some people out there when they're trying to figure out how to begin their lean journey. So, John, let's wrap up. Just tell us a little bit how to get a hold of you, or tell us, where to find Neotech if we're looking for them.
Well, we are online at neotech.com. We do have other sites that are part of this organization, but again, you can find all that neotech.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yep.
I'm always looking for ways to improve the content I share with you in this podcast, so I'd love to hear from you. If you have topics that you would like covered, or if you would like to share your company's lean journey, please contact me at tom@americanlean.com.
Thank you for joining us today. As always, we are honored to serve you, and we hope that you and your company are getting a little bit better every day. Please subscribe, rate, and review this podcast and share it with others in the lean and business community. If you'd like to turbocharge your lean efforts, please visit us at americanlean.com.